Morning friends, happy Friday, how the heck you doing? And you know that spell we all talk about, that magic spell where amazingly journalists feel unable to criticise William and Kate in any meaningful way. Same goes for Charles and Camilla and the rest of the scroungers and hangers-on. That spell, my friends, is about to be broken, and this is a great example. Harry and Meghan get the news. Harry and Meghan get the clicks. Harry and Meghan turn up, do good. Harry and Meghan turn everything to gold or sold. And the journalists know that. And now they're planning to be back in the UK. Harry and Meghan are the future of the media. Good people who do good things on a regular basis and are newsworthy and have credible, measurable successes in their own name that people can reference and talk about with evidence. The rest of the family don't have that. No one's interested when they walk down the street. There's no crowds, there's no well-wishers. They have to ship people in from old people's homes and schools. That's what the non-working, taxpayer-funded royal family do to try and stay relevant. Rent a crowd. That's how desperate they are. The rest of them are irrelevant, uninteresting, unloved, and jar the public with their 7 homes each, part of the systematic problems that society is trying to tackle. Part of the problem, never part of the solution. Harry and Meghan are the future. The rest of them, the public will decide. The tide's turning. The spell is broken. 2 days now, 2 days, careful with the fingers. 2 days until the live with Lydia. I will record it, even if it's on my phone. We'll upload it later. It's going to be a good one.
People are out here whining about the Sussexes' adult life as if you're paying their taxes or you're their family members. I get it. You're nervous. You're scared for them. Meghan was able to get a whole business supply chain up and running, items patented and copyrighted before any of you even knew the real name of her business. She was able to organize that. They have not left Harry and Meghan alone since 2016. If they were able to do all that, they tried to tank her business. They tried to tank her TV show. She's a daytime Emmy nominee. Her business has sold out so much, she now is a full CEO of her own business. So I don't know what all this whining and complaining is about. I get it. Meghan will be fine. And one other thing, you guys are missing out the opportunity for pettiness and mess. September is when school starts. Guess who is starting school in September? Prince George, right? Guess who has unintentionally overshadowed that tea? Harry and Meghan, right? There's a lot of opportunities for us to be really petty here. I get it. You're scared for Meghan. They've got this. Did you know they were coming? If Meghan and Harry had not announced, would you have known they were coming or they were here? Trust the process and continue to pray for people that you care for.
I tell you, he's not having a good day today. I tell you, he's not having a good day today. It's William and Kate. Oh, dear God in heaven, let's talk about it. Because what on earth will these two be thinking right now? What on earth will they be thinking right now? I think Kate will be devastated and William will be furious. And you know what the funny thing is? If they had protected Harry and Meghan and not felt to compete with them or to get jealous of the attention they were getting or to try and deviate from their scandals and push it on to Harry and Meghan, if they had just done the right thing, really tried to protect them and have that camaraderie, and even if they have arguments behind closed doors, because in-laws will and families will argue, they had stood together as a team, this royal family would be thriving right now. Aside from Andrew, and quite rightly so, who has been ostracised, if they had just swallowed their pride, taken Meghan and Harry into their sort of protection, none of this would be happening. And I actually think William and Kate would be even more popular than Harry and Meghan. I feel like what William seems to forget is that there's only him and Harry. The current King of England only has 2 children, and he's one of them. And regardless of sort of birthright of him being the sort of the next king, and yes, with all the power it will have, and yes, with him probably being able to, you know, create the life for Harry in terms of in terms of his royal place, he will be able to command all that. What he cannot take away from Harry ever is that Harry is also Diana's son and Charles's son. Like, William can't erase Harry from being his actual brother. So what will happen now? As I said in my last post, I wish them well. I don't think this is a good move. I'm really scared for them. I'm really worried with the way the UK is with them at the moment, that they've come at the worst time they could possibly come. I hope they just continue what they've been doing in Montecito, keep a low profile, do everything privately, Meghan do her as ever, Harry does all his charitable stuff and Invictus, and they just do everything in their power to just stay out the limelight and just keep out of everyone's way. And I know it sounds counterproductive because I know they'll be harassed even more, but I genuinely think if they do anything else, they will be hounded even more. I think they need to, if they're going to come and move here, I think they need to keep a low profile. What I think this will do is give a certain couple who've been dragging their legs and not really doing much a kick up the arse to step the bleep up and do some work. You will now see Kate at every event working with multiple charities. You will see William honestly, you're going to be sick of this couple. Come September, when they're back from the holidays, there's going to be no stopping them. They're going to be everywhere and anywhere for everyone to see them. Because now Harry and Meghan are in the UK, and whatever they do, it's going to be very clear that they have not been doing much. Very, very clear. Even though that Harry and Meghan are not working royals, and I hope to God there's no announcement of them being working royals. That would be the most catastrophic. That would be bad for everyone. That would be bad for Harry and Meghan, or bad for... I think that could potentially be a nail in the coffin. It's just, maybe in 3 to 5 years' time, that might be different, but them coming back as a sort of working royals is going to be catastrophic for everyone involved. So I hope they don't do that. But also, if William doesn't play ball, if he doesn't calm his nerves, regulate his emotions, chill the F out, play nice, his popularity is gonna absolutely drop. If he starts to do anything very overtly to try and antagonize Harry and Meghan, his popularity is going to drop drastically. And I'd say the thing that's happened with Professor Ardey, I don't think it's going to change the right-wing media. I don't think they're going to be any less kind to Meghan. I think they're going to drag her left, right and centre. But what they will do is they know that we know. They know that we're watching them. So they kind of have to be a bit careful about how they come for Meghan, because after this, they know that we know how they roll. That's number one. And number two, I also think they're probably going to try and come for Kate a bit more, so they can go, oh, it's not just about Meghan. It's not because Meghan's black. We're coming for the whole royal family. I mean, they've started to kind of come for Kate already, but I feel like the trolling of the royal family is now going to be slightly on a more even playing field, because William and Kate have probably pissed off the press. I feel like William and Kate have pissed off the press a little bit. So, yeah, the person who's not having a good day today is these two. I gagging to see what the group chat of the WhatsApp family, the royal family WhatsApp group chat. I'm dying. I would love to know what they're going to be talking about right now. What do you guys think?
Squaddies, I nearly fell out of my chair when I saw this one, because for years we've been hearing the same old song about Harry and Meghan. They're irrelevant, nobody cares anymore, they've lost their appeal, the British public has moved on. Oh really? Then explain this headline. The Daily Mail is now running a piece saying, "Welcome home, Meghan and Harry, this is why we need you more than ever." Hold on a minute, didn't you lot tell us nobody cared? Didn't you tell us Harry and Meghan had supposedly disappeared from the royal conversation? Didn't you spend years telling everybody that their decision to leave Britain had destroyed their relevance? And now they're potentially coming back and suddenly we need them? Come on, you couldn't write comedy this good. And that's the thing that regular people notice. You don't need to be a royal expert. You don't need a degree in palace studies. You don't need to sit around analysing Buckingham Palace with a magnifying glass. Just look at what happens whenever Harry and Meghan are involved. The headlines start flying, television programmes start talking, newspapers start publishing opinion pieces, social media starts buzzing. Everybody suddenly has something to say. And that's because Harry and Meghan still generate something that money can't simply manufacture: attention. People are interested in what they're doing. People want to know where they're going. People want to know what their next project will be. People want to know what happens when they return to Britain. If Harry and Meghan were genuinely irrelevant, their possible return wouldn't require this much commentary. We wouldn't have endless discussions about what their arrival could mean. We wouldn't have journalists debating their impact. And we certainly wouldn't have a major newspaper telling us, "We need you more than ever." That's quite an admission. It's almost like somebody finally looked around the royal landscape and said, "Wait a minute, where's the excitement?" And suddenly everybody remembers the Sussexes. But here's where I want to make something very clear. Harry and Meghan don't need to prove anything. They don't need to come back to Britain and perform for the media. They don't need to rescue anybody. They don't need to become working royals again. If they decide to spend more time in the UK, that's their choice. They can have a British presence while keeping their California life. They can support causes, they can spend time with family, they can raise their children, they can work on their businesses, and then they can go home. Simple. So when journalists suddenly say Britain needs Harry and Meghan, my response is, maybe Britain should have appreciated them before telling them they weren't needed. Because Harry and Meghan already built a life without the palace. They didn't sit around waiting for somebody to invite them back. They got on with it. And now that their possible return is generating this much excitement, the irony is absolutely delicious. For years, nobody cares about Harry and Meghan. Now, welcome home. We need you. Squaddies, pick a lane. Because apparently the Sussexes were irrelevant right up until everybody started talking about them again. And that, my friends, tells you everything you need to know.
Squaddies, let's be honest for a second. This is where things get awkward for the monarchy. Because William and Kate have been presented for years as the future, the next generation, the glamorous young faces, the couple supposedly carrying the institution into the future. Fair enough. But here's the question nobody can seem to escape. Why does Harry and Meghan's name still generate so much attention? Think about it. Harry and Meghan aren't even working royals. They've built their life thousands of miles away in California. They've got their own home, their own projects, their own businesses, their own family life. And yet the moment there's a possibility that they could spend more time in Britain, suddenly everybody has something to say. Newspaper columns, television debates, commentators arguing about what it means, social media going absolutely nuts. And I'm sitting here thinking, didn't you guys say they were irrelevant? Because this doesn't exactly look like irrelevance. You don't get this level of conversation when nobody cares. And here's where William and Kate come into the picture. They were supposed to become the main attraction. They were supposed to represent the modern monarchy. They've had years to build that connection with the public. But somehow, Harry and Meghan, who aren't even playing the royal game anymore, can still walk into the conversation and completely change the temperature. That's got to sting a little. Imagine being told, don't worry, they're leaving, you two will be the future. Then years later, Harry and Meghan might visit Britain, and suddenly everyone's talking about them again. It's almost like somebody pressed the Sussex button and the entire royal news machine switched back on. But let's be fair, this isn't necessarily Harry and Meghan chasing attention. That's the important distinction. They aren't sitting in Montecito thinking, right, how do we annoy William this week? They're living their lives. They work, they raise their children, they support causes they care about, they make their own decisions. The attention comes to them. And that's what makes this so interesting. Because you can't manufacture genuine public curiosity. You can have the palace, you can have the titles, you can have the ceremonies, you can have the fancy uniforms, you can have the carriages. But you can't force people to care. And when Harry and Meghan make a move, people clearly care. That's why this reported UK return has created such a stir. People aren't just asking, are they coming back? They're asking, why are they coming back? Where will they live? What about the children? What does this mean for the royal family? That's a lot of questions for two people who were supposedly yesterday's news. And I think regular people can see the bigger picture. The monarchy needs personalities. It needs people who create conversation. It needs people who connect with different generations. And whether some royal commentators like it or not, Harry and Meghan have that ability. They've got a global audience. They've got supporters. They've got critics. They've got people who simply want to know what they're doing next. That's attention. And attention matters in a modern media environment. But here's the part I really want to stress. The monarchy cannot assume that Harry and Meghan's popularity means they're coming back to save it. That's not how this works. Harry and Meghan can be interesting to the public without becoming working royals again. They can be popular without reporting to the palace. They can spend time in Britain without giving up the independent life they've built. So if the monarchy really does feel that it's missing something, that's an issue for the monarchy to solve. Don't look at Harry and Meghan and say, come back and fix this for us. You had your chance. William and Kate were supposed to carry the future. Harry and Meghan chose a different road. And now somehow the couple outside the institution is still creating some of the biggest royal conversations. Squaddies, that's the irony. Harry and Meghan left the royal machine, but the royal machine never really stopped talking about them. And maybe that's the real story.
Squaddies, let's flip this whole conversation. Suddenly, we're hearing that the monarchy needs Harry and Meghan. Their return could bring excitement, energy, and attention back to the royal story. Okay, but here's the question. Do Harry and Meghan need the monarchy? Honestly, no. Look at what they've built since leaving Britain. They have their California home, businesses, media projects, charitable work, and, most importantly, their family life. They didn't need the palace to build any of that. So if they decide to spend more time in Britain, don't twist that into some desperate comeback. It could simply be about family, children, work, heritage, and convenience. And here's where some journalists need to pump the brakes. Being in Britain does not mean being a working royal. Harry can be in Britain without reporting to the palace. Meghan can be in Britain without joining the royal schedule. Archie and Lilibet can experience Britain without becoming public property. The family can keep their California home and remain completely independent. That's not half in, half out. That's just having a life in more than one place. And let's be honest, Harry and Meghan didn't leave America thinking, quick, let's go back and rescue the monarchy. No, they're building their own future. So if the monarchy suddenly realizes it could use the Sussexes' popularity, that's their problem. Harry and Meghan don't owe the institution a comeback. They don't owe anyone royal duties. They don't owe the palace their independence. If they return to Britain, they can do it because it works for their family. And that's the part some commentators still don't understand. Harry and Meghan can come back to Britain without coming back to the old system. They can choose where they live, how they work, how much they share, and how involved they want to be. The monarchy may want the Sussexes, but the Sussexes have already proven something very important. They can build a life without it. Thank you all for watching. I'm your host, Miles. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe, and join the Squaddy family. Have a blessed weekend, stay safe, stay happy, and keep that royalty hot. God bless you all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Love you all.